Okay, this is lesson 13 for 8th grade, and today we talked about adding and subtracting fractions, something they've seen before. Also, we were adding and subtracting some mixed numbers, basically the same concept with a little twist to it. So let's just jump right into it. Alright, I'm going to click around here. Okay. Remember, big idea with adding and subtracting fractions is common denominators. We need to get common denominators in order to add or subtract fractions. So that's the big idea here. And once we have those common denominators, we either add our numerators or subtract our numerators, and the denominator will stay the same. So we'll get into that here in a second. Here's how it kind of works. If we want to look at it on a number line here, we're adding 2/5 plus 2/5, and we get 4/5. Notice how we only add the top two numbers. The denominator stays the same. Alright, we start with 2/5, so let's see, we're working with fifths here. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5, or 1, 5/5. So we go 2/5 of the way to 1, and we're adding on another 2/5, and we can see we end up here at 4 out of 5 segments to 1. Subtraction, 3/4 minus 2/4. 3 minus 2 is 1. Denominator stays the same. This one's a little different. If we start at 0 here, we go 3/4 of the way to 1. And we're going to take away 2 out of the 4. 1, 2. We end up at 1/4. So that's kind of how it works on the number line. Obviously, it's much easier once we get the system down, just to subtract our numerators, keep the same denominator. Alright. So this was the first example I had the students click in. We kept it pretty basic. The denominators are the same. What is 3/7 plus 2/7? I'm going to grab a new marker. This one's not the best here. So 3/7 plus 2/7. That's a little better. Alright. Denominator is going to stay the same. 3 plus 2 is 5. So we should end up getting 5/7 there, or the student should have been clicking in number 2 right there. Alright? Now let's subtract these two fractions. And we've got 3/7 minus 2/7. 3 minus 2 is 1. Same denominator, 7. Alright, should be getting 1/7 there. This right here, 1/0, is very wrong. This is not even a real number. We cannot divide by 0. Cannot have 0 in the denominator. So no one chose it, which was good. But had they chosen that one, it would have been some cause for some concern. But just remember, no zeros in the denominator. In fact, when we're adding or subtracting anyway, denominator stays the same. So, just so we know that. Alright. Now, things aren't always going to be so easy. We're not always going to have a common denominator already. Once again, it should have been here. For instance, if we look at this one, we have 1/4 plus 1/3. We got to figure out what that's going to be. First thing we have to do is get a common denominator. One thing that we can do, which will be helpful, is we want to find the least common multiple of 4 and 3. Now, if we find the least common multiple and we use that as the denominator, we won't have to reduce in the end. It's okay if we need to reduce in the end, that's fine. But if we find the least common multiple first, it'll save us a step. And I'll show you why. Okay. Multiples of 4 would be 4, 8, 12, 16. Keep going on like that. Multiples of 3, 6, 9, 12. Alright. Right away we can see the least common multiple that they have in common, or least common multiple is 12. So if we use 12 then we should be able to figure out our answer without reducing in the end. So we want to make our denominator 12. In order to do that to 1/4, we would do 1/4. We want to get that to 12. 4 times what will get us to 12? Well, that's times 3. So we're going to multiply by 3 on top as well. 1 times 3, you get 3. Alright? 1/3. We want to make that 12. Here we multiply 3 times 4 to get 12. So we're going to do 1 times 4 up here, which is 4. So now what we actually have is 3/12 plus 4/12, which equals 7/12. So that's what we should be coming up with there. I will also show you what happens if we don't use the least common multiple. Okay? We found 12, least common multiple. Another number we could have used is 24. We could have used 24. So, we'll just section this off here. Now 24 is not the least common multiple, but that's okay. Let's say that's what we used. So 1/4, 24. So 4 times 6 gets us there. So we got 6/24. And then for 1/3, 3 times 8 gets us there. So we have 8/24. So we would have had 6/24 plus 8/24. And we would have got 6 plus 8 is 14 all over 24. However, we're not reduced, but I do know that 2 goes into both of these, so we would do divided by 2. And that's where we get our 7/12. So, still would come up with the same answer, but in the end we had to reduce. Whereas if you find that least common multiple, you do not have to reduce. So just something to be aware of. Help save a little time. But 7/12 is where we should have been. Okay. Moving on. All right. 5/7 minus 2/3. So 5/7 minus 2/3. Well, and here's another thing to point out. If you're not sure at all what to do with your common denominator, one thing you can always do is multiply your 2 denominators together, because that'll be a common multiple of them. It might not be the least common multiple, but you'll still get a common denominator that you can use. Here I'm going to do that. I'm going to use 7 times 3. We're going to use 21 as our common denominator. So we got 5/7, 21, we want 2/3, something over 21. Alright, 7 times 3 gets us to 21 here. So 5 times 3 will be 15. 3 times 7 gets us to 21. So 2 times 7 gets us to 14. And now we can see we have 15/21 minus 14/21, which will get us to 1/21. So we should have been answering, and I should have been seeing most of my students answering 1/21. Alright. Did not have the students click these ones in, but I did need to show them how to do this. Alright. Couple options we have here. We could turn these into improper fractions and go that way and get common denominators. That's fine. You can do it that way. I'm going to go ahead and say, let's just keep them mixed numbers, because the book usually has answers in mixed numbers. So, one thing we need to do. We need to get a common denominator here and here. I say we use 4. This one's already has that. So 3 1/2 will be written as 3 and 2/4 plus 1 and 3/4. Okay? So all we did was change this fraction to 2 over 4. Alright, so now we're going to add our two large numbers, which would be 3 plus 1 is 4, and 2 plus 3 is 5. So we have 4 and 5 over 4. 4 and 5 fourths. So now we have an improper fraction here. This is bigger than 1. I'm going to rewrite this. This is 4, large 4, plus 4 over 4, which is 1, plus we have 1 left over here, plus 1. So this part right here, 4 over 4 plus 1 over 4, that gives us our 5 over 4. But we know that 4 over 4 is 1, so I'm going to combine these two together, and I'm going to get 5 and 1/4. Alright, check my time real quick, I think we're okay. Yep, we're doing alright. So, basically, noting that we have 1 here to add to this large 4, and then 1 left over for our 1/4. Okay? Now, this one we're going to do the same thing. We're using the same numbers, but we are subtracting now. So this is 3 and 2/4 minus 1 and 3/4. Now we run into an issue here because 2 minus 3 gives us a negative number, but we can tell that 3 and 2/4 minus 1 and 3/4 would not result in a negative because this is bigger than this. So we're at a crossroads here again. Once again, we could turn this improper if we wanted to. I'll show you what that would look like. Alright, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So we got 14 over 4, minus 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. Alright, so we got 14 over 4 minus 7 over 4, and that would be 14 minus 7, minus 7 over 4. This is the improper way to do it. Well, you know what I mean? If we turn this into a mixed, another way to write this is 4 over 4 plus 3 over 4. So really we've got 1 and 3/4 left over. So 1 and 3/4. That's the improper fraction way to do it. And I want to see if I have time to show you the other way. I should. Got about 2 minutes. So, improper fraction way right there. If we want to do it kind of like the mixed number way, here's what we do. We rewrite this. Let's see, 3. Is that what we want? Oh, I see. No, here's what we're going to do. We're going to borrow 1 from this 3 here. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to take 1 away from 3. 2 plus 4 over 4 plus 2 over 4 minus 1 and 3/4. Okay? Here's where that 1 is that we borrowed. So now we have 2 and 6 over 4 minus 1 and 3 over 4, just by adding those there. So 2 minus 1 is 1, 6 minus 3 is 3. We still get our same answer. So either way you want to do it, the mixed number way or the improper fraction way. Doesn't matter. Alright, that was lesson 13 for 8th grade. Homework is on the homework link.